Hari Bol, Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Today is me on the class, Isabela. I'm going to make it snappy because it is 9 o'clock. I want to go to sleep and I still have some things to do, for example, chanting, and that's going to take a while. So, today we are doing Bhagavad-gita 336. I've not read it previously, so I don't really understand. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Arjuna uvāca atha prayukto ayam pāpam carati pūruṣaḥ anicchann api vārṣṇeya balād iva niyojitaḥ. That's the best I've done. Woo! Arjuna uvāca, Arjuna said, atha, hereafter, by what? Prayuktaḥ, impelled. Ayam, one, pāpam, sins, carati, acts, pūruṣaḥ, a man, anicchann, without desiring, api, although, vārṣṇeya, O descendant of Vṛṣṇi, balāt, by force, eva, as if, niyojitaḥ, engaged. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vṛṣṇi, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Purport. A living entity, as a part and parcel of the Supreme, is originally spiritual, pure, and free from all material contaminations. Therefore, by nature, he is not subjected to the sins in the material world. But when he is in contact with the material nature, he acts in many sinful ways without hesitation, and sometimes even against his will. As such, Arjuna's question to Kṛṣṇa is very sanguine. Sanguine? As to the perverted nature of the living entities. Although the living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, he is still forced to act. Sinful actions are not, however, impelled by the Supersoul within, but are due to another cause, as the Lord explains in the next verse. Okay. Differences. Please don't be mean, please. Oh, Kṛṣṇa has blessed us. There's only one change. So, instead of by nature he is not subjected to the sins of the material world, it has been changed to therefore by nature he is not subject to the sins of the material world. Subject. Same thing. I'm gonna say. You're gonna say what? Okay, no. Do I know why? No, I have no clue. None at all. Nada. Subjected to subject. Subjected, acted upon you. Subject to the sins of... They mean the exact same thing. Like when you read it, you're not going to be like, oh, subjected to subject. You're not going to be like, oh, completely different meaning. No, it's like literally the exact same thing. Let's see what's in the original manuscript. Page 104 and 105 missing. Huh. Well, that is annoying, isn't it? No. Okay. Well, okay, change. Unauthorized, unwarranted. But I feel like it was more of a grammatical one. The language changes, so subjected was now in like it wasn't like a word or something. I don't know. But okay, change. Authorized by Isabela chain. Nah. Well, it doesn't change the meaning. It doesn't like come up with a completely new thing. It's just subjected to subject, which I feel is like the same thing. But then again, unwanted, unauthorized, so technically, bit iffy. But yeah. All right, let's look at the meaning. What I what I understand from it. Blah, blah, blah. So the Supersoul is like the big soul, the big guns, Kṛṣṇa. Well, Kṛṣṇa isn't the Supersoul. I'm not sure. Wait. No, I've been reading about this. Come on, Isabela, pull through. The Supreme, otherwise known as Kṛṣṇa, and the Supreme is also the Supersoul. I'm gonna say yes. No, I can't remember. There's something in there where it says something about the soul and Kṛṣṇa and if they're like together or not. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to read the whole Bhagavad-gita again. Ooh. Well, I'm only like in the second chapter, so it's not that much. But still. Okay. So basically, like, we are all a part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. No, the Supersoul. So we all have little souls, and the Supersoul is a big soul. And correct me if I get this wrong, comment on it, because like I'm not 100% sure. But you know, as little souls, we can easily deviate and be attracted by Maya. And that's not good. But it's not the soul that's wanting to do that. The soul is pure and wants to go back to Kṛṣṇa. But getting put into a material body and like sins and stuff, and Maya corrupts the mind. And then the soul's like, no, please don't. And then the mind's like, I do not care. Gratify the senses. Bye-bye, Mr. Soul. So poor soul over here ain't happy at all. Poor soul is sad. But the mind is for a short bit, because happiness is temporary. Spiritual happiness, on the other hand, not temporary. Yes, no? Not 100% sure. Is spiritual happiness permanent or temporary?
Yes.
Yes. We got a yes. Eventually, we got there. And although sometimes the living entity doesn't want to sin, for example, you could be peer pressured into something, like someone's like, hey, you know, do drugs with us or something. And then you're like, you don't want to, but you do it anyway because you want to seem cool. For sense enjoyment, because you want to be liked, which therefore makes you feel happier and gratifies. I don't know how, but you'll get there somehow.
I just wanted to point out, because this is what I got stuck on before, your origin story about the soul and its desire to be in the material world.
I'm not far into the Bhagavad-gita.
No, but you gave a narrative just before. It was about like the soul coming into the material world, something like that. Remember that?
Soul coming into the material world.
Talking about Maya.
Oh no, the mind's attracted. Like the soul gets put in a body, right? A material body. The material body has a brain and a mind. And the mind gets attracted to sense gratification and gets entrapped. And then the soul doesn't want to do those things. Like if you sin, it's not the soul saying, oh, go sin. The soul doesn't want you to do that. Yes, no?
Well, the soul is, the atma is satchit ananda.
Atma such.
The idea that there's some kind of like desire there is like, see, I wouldn't go to saying something like the soul doesn't want to or anything like that. If you just stick to what it says in Bhagavad-gita, it talks about the function of the mind, the senses. It talks about the nature of the soul in the second chapter. It's not this, it's not that. It can't be cut by this, it can't be cut by that. It goes between different bodies. Just stick to
I'm
that.
only on verse there, maybe 50.
Of what?
The
second chapter.
43. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've gone through the whole Sankhya part of the second chapter, and now you're coming up to the part that talks about the...
I honestly, sometimes I'm just like, bro, I can't understand this.
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep going through again and again. But you know, that question about like what the soul wants to do or anything like that, just repeat what you read in the purports and in the text of the Gita. That's the best way.
The soul is the soul, and the soul just is there.
Well, you just repeat what it says in the purport.
The living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme, is originally spiritual. Therefore, by nature, he is not subjected to the sins of the material world. The soul is not.
He's not subjected to them. The body does its thing, but it's not that the soul has a body. The living entity misidentifies itself with a body. It's like watching a video game. And you think
So the living entity is like a bit goofy and just is like, I'm the body.
Yeah, it's aloof. Like
it's an illusion.
Yeah, wait,
Maya.
that's the function of Maya, makes you think that you are Isabela, who is a character in a video game.
Great. You are not the body, you are the spirit soul.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, the living entity gets a bit confused and decides to go on a little.
Where does it say that?
No, I'm just giving an example. The living entity gets confused and decides to go on a.
No, see that point there where you say that the living entity decides to.
No, the living entity does not decide to. The entity gets confused that
You just say,
No.
this is our situation.
this is our situation. We are not the body.
Yeah, exactly. How we got to be here, the idea of like the living entity decides to do this or that, you don't find that. Unless you find it somewhere in a purport there and repeat what it says there, it's speculation.
Speculation.
Yeah, in other words, you don't find in the Bhagavad-gita Kṛṣṇa talking about how you got into this situation. He talks to Arjuna about how you get out of it, but he doesn't talk about how we got into this.
Does he ever talk about how he ever got into this?
Don't worry about that for now, but just focus on what it actually does talk about.
I want to know. Well, you know, the living entity. We are the body. We aren't the body. We are the spirit soul. That got me tripping there, bro. We are not the body. We are the spirit soul. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, and although the living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, he is still forced to act. The Lord explains it in the next verse. Ugh. I hate it when they do that. Leave you on a cliffhanger. Nah. Actually, I might. We might have a look at this verse. Trusty, but first edition Bhagavad-gita, guys. The true edition. Chapter 3, verse 36. Chapter 3, verse 36. Verse chapter 3, verse 36. Further along. Sorry, guys, for the wait. Oh, somebody liked it. That's good. Hello, thank you for the like. Like. Woo, woo, woo. All right. I must be on the wrong chapter. Oh, no. Transcendental knowledge, transcendental knowledge, transcendental knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Karma yoga. There we are. 36. Right. The long purport, not gonna do that. So yeah. Confused. No, not body. Our soul. You are not the body, you are the spirit soul. Okay. Contemporary application. We're just gonna use a video game one. You know, if you're like playing like a video game and you're like a character, you'll be like, I am this character. No, you're not actually the character, you are you. You aren't the character. You're confused that you are the character, but you are not the character. And then the character, you make the character. No. The character does certain things that sometimes you don't want the character to do. Yeah, that is my contemporary application. Have fun with it. Make your own. You know, making your own contemporary application is cool too. You could start your own Bhagavad-gita class, or you could find your own contemporary applications and interpret the verse differently. Yes, I guess. Don't interpret it too differently from what the verse is.
What is the verse? The actual verse?
The translation.
Yeah.
Arjuna said, O descendant of Vṛṣṇi, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's basically talking about, among other things, the most extreme is addiction. But then people don't even realize how addicted they are. It's like, People are addicted to breathing, to
Oh, you're telling me? I'm just gonna stop breathing, guys. Bye bye.
yeah, well, there's some things. See, people understand addiction, like video game addiction, social media addiction, porn addiction, drug addiction. They understand all that as an addiction. Nobody thinks of like having to breathe as an addiction.
That's a need. It's not a want that you get attached to. But then again, you get attached to breathing. And when you're not breathing, it
Like,
doesn't feel right.
Everything about the body is an addiction.
I am an addiction.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun. All right, let's go to Te Reo Māori. $3.36. Wow. Right, guys.
But in terms of people's addictions, that verse and the answer to that question, even in terms of what people do consider to be addictions, it's very useful understanding.
Your thing's broken. This.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The little hand rest for like when you're like trying to move the mouse. Where's Mr. Mouse? You like rest your hand. The inside's like nice. It's like Yeah, I know. It's like a sticky silicone. And it's like nice. Oh, it's still generating. That's why I went on my little rabbit hole. Yes. I go down the rabbit hole for a reason.
Oh, but you can still go up and start reading it.
Rabbit hole. It's my little rabbit hole session.
Translate it back to see if it did a good job.
Okay. Copy. Paste. Ooh. Translate it back. Please know. The text you provided a translation Te Reo Māori from the Bhagavad-gita, sacred hymn scripture. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vṛṣṇi, what it is that drives a person to commit sin even against their will as if compelled by force. Okay, I think that's a bit goofy. And literally said it.
What is it that drives a person to commit sin even against their will as if compelled by force? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm going to translate it. Translate this to... I don't care that I said it wrong. Understand it. Descendant of Vṛṣṇi. What compels a person to commit sin? It is pretty much. It is that. It is that. Oh, that is great.
Yeah. Because there's nothing. It's not an impedance. Like there's nothing that's an impedance mismatch for Te Reo. Whereas when you talk about the senses, it has trouble.
True. All right. Te Reo Māori translation. Iki atu a Arjuna. E te uri o Vṛṣṇi, he aha te mea e wakahau ana ki te tangata kia mahi hara. Aha koa kāhore e pai ki a ia kia rite ki te wakauru nā te kaha. Word by word translation, using the M- pattern. I, did, past tense marker. Ki atu, said to, a, of, belonging to, Arjuna. Arjuna, the name remains the same. E, o, vocative particle. Te, the uri, descendant, offspring. O, of, Vṛṣṇi, and lineage in which Kṛṣṇa belongs, name remains the same. He aha, what, te mea, the thing, the reason. E, which indicative particle. Wakahau, drive, impel. Ana, present, continuous tense. Kite, to the, tangata, person, man. Kia, to, so that. Mahi, do perform. Hara, sin, wrong. Ahakoa, although, even if. Kāhore, not. Ipai, liked, wanted. Ki a ia, to him, by him. Kia rite, as if, like. Kite, to the. Wakauru, engage, employ. Na, by. Te, the. Kaha, force, strength. Oh, remember Lumilang? Lumilang. Stunner. We love Lumilang.
So yeah, put the Te Reo Māori into the nursery rhyme one.
Is this it?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. This? Huh?
Yeah. Just drop it in there.
Paste. Bye-bye. Get generated. Woo!
Kia kaha ki te reo.
All right, so this is the poem. Iki atu a Arjuna ke te uru. E Vṛṣṇi, he aha te wakahau nei. Kia mahi hara, a koa kore pai. Wakauru nā te kaha, hei rere ngai. Ngai.
Yeah, punch that into the reverse translator.
Papara, papara, parabara, para, papara.
No, next one.
Papara,
Yeah.
paraba. The Thero Maru. Arjuna said to the descendant, "O Vṛṣṇi, what is this urging? To commit sin, even if not desired, driven by force, as if taken by current." Let's go to Lumi Lang.
The version that it's producing in poetic mode is like the Bhagavad-gita song of God.
Oh no.
What?
I clicked on the Lumi Lang as Bach and I forgot the last thing I wanted to say. Okay, hi focus. The movie you recorded exceeded the 4 GB limit. It was split into 2 files. Well, it's still recording. I just have something over my face. Oh, it would have come. Okay. Harry Ball, guys. I will be signing off for the night. First, I will read the translation in Tereo, then I will read it in English, then I'll read it in Sanskrit, and then I will say bye-bye. All right, let's read. Iki atu a Arjuna, e te uri o Vṛṣṇi he aha te mea e wakahau ana ki te tangata kia mahihara. Aha koa kāhore e pai ki a ia carati ki te waka uru ngā nā te kaha. In English, Arjuna said, "O descendant of Vṛṣṇi, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?" In Sanskrit, it is Arjuna uvāca, atha prayukto ayam pāpam carati pūruṣaḥ, anicchann api vārṣṇeya balād iva niyojitaḥ. I will be saying bye. It says card full. Pāpam Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total word victory of Hare Krishna. I hope you guys have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and I will see you next time, which I'm pretty sure is Monday. Hare Bol.